Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. It's been a while, but we're back at it again. It's the Joe Kraft Sierra Show, ICRN, the Utah Radio Network. We're here today with a special All-Star Weekend special. It's our Shining Stars draft, and before we get started, we'll introduce the two coaches sitting in the yellow chair. Derek Bloomfield, the coach of Oregon, and the commissioner on the other side, Alex Daratsky. Thanks for coming today, guys. And before we get started, here are the All-Star Weekend events. Thursday, April 10th is the Shining Stars game, which we'll get to draft in just a second. It's the top 20 stars as voted on by the coaches and staff, and they will compete head-to-head in an All-Star game. And you can find out, we'll actually get started just a moment to find out who is on the teams. Again, Thursday, April 10th, here at the Ute Center at 7:30 p.m. Then Saturday, April 12th, after the championship, which is at 1:30. Then at 2:30, it will be the Coaches versus Kids All-Star Game, and the top players of the league, which are voted again by the coaches and staff, will take on the coaches. So, they might get dunked on by Bloomfield or crossed over by Alex. Also, then after that game at 3:30, it could possibly be later. Is this the first year we're doing it? The skills competition.
First year skills competition.
It's our inaugural All-Star skills competition thing. Each coach will choose a player to represent their team for each of the three skills competitions. Here are the three. First thing, the point guard skills course. The point guards. The essential point guard skills they'll have to do is speed, ball handling, and passing while completing a task, and navigate through several specifically designed obstacles designed by the coaches. Then the three-point competition, which players will show off their long-range abilities by attempting to make as many three-point shots as possible from a variety of locations on the floor. And then finally, the three-man hoop ball competition. Each coach will pick two of his top players and will work as a team to complete the hoop ball challenge, which calls for each teammate to make a free throw, a three-point shot, and a half-court shot in the fastest time. So it's going to be very fun, and we'll get started. Do we have the coin for first pick?
Oh, I don't have a coin.
Okay,
well, we got to do rock, paper. I'm going to go rock, paper, scissors.
I like it. Best 2 out of 3?
Best 2 out of 3. Let's do this. Are we ready?
We do rock, paper, scissors, Spock, or just
rock, paper, scissors. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, baby.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
All right. So I'll take the first pick. All right.
All right, Alex. The first pick in the first ever Shining Stars draft.
You know what? I got to go with my man Trevor Book. I had him in the 5th and 6th grade league, and I think he's a leading scorer, and he just does a little bit of everything. So we're going to go with Trevor Book with the first pick.
And Trevor Book really basically carried the team this season. Michigan had a 3-7 record so far. Book leading the league in scoring, 20.6 points per game, also with 8.2 rebounds and 1.7 assists. And there's been a big debate going on if he's going to be one of the best, if not the best, to come out of North Tonawanda basketball. And he's only in 8th grade, and you never know. There's been some rumors he could be on varsity by the end of next season if he does well at the JV level. So it's going to see. So a pretty good pick. So Derek, how are you going to answer that?
I am going to actually go with Trey Bowling. He's tall. He's got a lot of athletic ability. He can shoot a little bit from the outside, and he rebounds well, so we'll see how he does.
Bowling is tied with Dylan Patterson in the top 5 scoring, also 5th in rebounding, and 4th in assist making. All right, we got our first picks going. Alex, what's your next pick?
We're going to go with size now and go with Kyle McNeil. I think he's the best of the bigs, and he's pretty versatile. He can handle the ball when we need to, but I think a Book and McNeil combination would work out pretty well, so that's what we're going to go with next.
So, Alex's team taking the 2 top scorers so far. McNeil in second with 15.2 points per game. McNeil's also the league rebounder as well, at the top in the league with 13.7, also averaging 2.2 assists per game, which is surprisingly second in the league as well. Kansas is going to try to make a run with him at 6-2. They're tied with the Buckeyes for second best in the league. What I like about McNeil, like Alex said, he's a great presence down low. Probably one of the best bigs. He could possibly make a big, huge run on JV next season as well. And Kansas, he's their main guy. So hopefully he does well in the All-Star game. All right, what do you got there?
I'm actually going to go with another 8th grader as well. I'm going to go with Chuck Trippy. when it comes to defense, he has really, really active hands. He gets a lot of steals, creates a lot of pressure on defense. Also, he has great court vision, so hopefully he can swing the ball around and get some plays going.
Chuck Trippey, fourth in the league in scoring with 14.1 points, also averaging nearly 2 rebounds and 2 assists per game. And Derek, you could probably say that, I mean, this wasn't the season you guys wanted, a 1-8 record, but Chuck, just game in and game out, he's been probably your best player so far. I mean, just the way he's been producing, and you gotta watch out for those 3-pointers. A couple of times, almost hit the ceiling, and just came down from the heavens. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this 8th grade class, and you guys probably agree, the past couple of years in NC basketball, there has been a lot of talent coming out of the youths that are heading to the JV level. So watch for him to be a huge presence on the JV team as well, and he'll probably do well at the All-Star game. All right, Alex, what's your 3rd pick?
I got to stick with my roots here and go with my boy Trent Palmer, representing Syracuse. Another big body. I like the versatile size, and he's got great vision. He's just showing that he can pass the ball really well, and he just provides some shooting and some size as well. So we're trying to be versatile here at Team Domorowski for this All-Star game.
9.1 points per game for Palmer. He's also second in the league with rebounding at 12.4, also having 2 assists. I like Trent Palmer down low. It's a good pick. It just got to see how Syracuse does for this playoff run. They're currently 6th in the league with a 2-6 record. So Trent Palmer, I mean, just a hard-working guy, a big body down low. If you need him for rebounds, he'll be there. So a very nice pick for Team Domorowski. All right, here come the Bloomin' Bloomers with their next pick.
I'm gonna stay 8th grader. I'm gonna go Cody Cronk. He's big. The thing about Cody and I like about him is that when he wants to play, he can play. So when he wants to grab a rebound, he'll go get it. When he wants to score, he'll go score. And he's really, really big on defense. He poses a really big threat there. So hopefully he comes to play for the All-Star game.
LSU has a lot of talent as well this season. And Cody Cronk, I mean, he was on the quiet side last season, but first game of the year, my goodness, just calling out and balling like there's no tomorrow. 11 points and 10 rebounds per game for his season, so basically a double-double every game. A big presence on Modified as well this season from what we've been hearing. LSU is currently 4th place in the league with a 5-3 record, and you know, like I've said before with these other picks, watch for him to make a big presence on the JV team as well. All right, back to the commish with his next pick as we keep it going here on the Shining Star Draft on YCRN, the Youth Center Radio Network.
You know, as a point guard myself, I like people who pass the ball and, you know, can shoot as well, and that's someone who I think about is Dylan Patterson. So I'm going to go with Dylan Patterson next, and I'm going to actually slot him as my point guard because I think his ball handling is great, and I think his court vision is probably second to none in the league. So, and if you leave him open, he's going to make you hurt with some 3-pointers. So I look forward to having him on my squad.
And Dylan Patterson was probably the biggest reason why LSU has won some of their games this season. Just looking at it, nearly 13 points per game and 3 assists per game. And just last year, he did well. He was a good shooter, but this season he took it up another level with his vision on the court. Sort of reminds me of Steve Silsby, the great NT legend. Just the way, and I mean, he played before I was born, but from what I've heard, he was a pass-first guy, a point guard, and just the way he's been playing so far, it's just ridiculous. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is the starting point guard next season for JV, just the way he's been playing so far. All right, you're up.
I'm going to take my first 7th grader. I'm going to go Pat McCann. Thing I like about him is he's tall, he's big, so there's that presence once again on defense that's going to be felt, and I feel like he's one of those players that's kind of overlooked. He's still young, you know, he's from another school, so the kids don't really talk to him much, but he comes out and he plays every week, so I'm looking forward to see what he can do.
Patrick McCann has been one of the Buckeyes' big guys down low, 9 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game as well. Patrick McCann, he sort of reminds me of the little legend that could. He always goes in there saying, I think I can, and that's what McCann does. He thinks he can do it, and he goes in there, and he does it. And the Buckeyes, they're tied for second because of him. And, you know, just unbelievable shooting-wise, and probably one of the best rebounders. And like Derek said, he always gets overlooked, maybe because he goes to a different school or whatever. But this guy, he is going to be very good next season as well. Alex, your next pick.
You know, it's a toss-up. I don't want to give away my hand. There's two players I really want, but I think I'm going to have to go with Brandon Hooley from Ohio State. Just one of those kids who brings his lunch pail and goes to work. And he's, one of the hardest workers on the court. And they don't call him Bruiser for nothing. He throws his body around. So we're gonna gladly add him to Team Demoratsky.
Brandon Hooley, and last year he won the championship with Syracuse. Shout out to Eric Partel, by the way. Brandon Hooley, 7 points per game and 7 rebounds as well. And he's just like Dylan Patterson. He's improved every single year. And I wouldn't be surprised if he actually is one of the top guys on JV next season as well too. Just his work ethic is unbelievable. He never chirps really. I mean, from what I've seen at the table, he just always keeps his mouth shut and just plays basketball and gets his lunch pail and keeps it going. And I won't be surprised if the Buckeyes make a big run because of him. All right, Derek, your next pick. And right after he said that, you sort of looked sad. So.
Yeah, because I was gonna actually go with Hooley, but to keep Palmer kind of away, I'm gonna go with Ryan Sutherland.
Oh, that was right there.
I had to keep Sutherland and Palmer off the same team. They have the chemistry together. They play with one another. And the thing about Sutherland is he's real chippy. He'll go in, he'll play defense when you want to, and he goes and he gets buckets every single week. He puts the ball in the basket, and that's what I like about him.
Ryan Sutherland, and I've seen him ever since he was a 6th grader playing in this top league. Back on Eric Fetterman, by the way, shout out to him, on the West Virginia team. Him and Nehemiah Stone just running it crazy. And this kid, I'm surprised he's already in 8th grade already. Just by the way, his talent, it reminds you of a freshman in high school. Just the way his vision on the floor. He's probably one of the best point guards in this league. And Syracuse probably wasn't the season he wants to end on Syracuse with a 2-6 record, but I mean, just the perfect point guard you would want on your team. And I mean, Coach Demoratsky with his success so far with those two, 14.3 points per game and 2.4 rebounds per game. And if he does stay here in NT for next year, because we've heard some rumors he might go to St. Joe's even, or something like that. If he stays here, I won't be surprised if he is actually one of their top bench guys next season for JV. A lot of talent coming up from the Rock. All right, Alex, your next pick.
Well, Ryan, I wish I had you on my team, buddy. I'm sorry. I was hoping I could sneak you in there on the 6th pick overall, but
Hey y'all!
it is what it is. What we need now is another point guard. And I'm looking at my list, and I see 2 good ones. And I've heard some rumors he might not be here, but I'm going to go with him anyway in the off chance that he does make it to the game, and that's Jaden Moranto. He's a guy who's had a quiet season, I think, only because Ohio State is such a team-oriented team. But he's a great point guard, distributes the ball well, plays good defense, so we're going to add Jaden, and hopefully he'll make it for the All-Star game.
And I think he looks a little more comfortable out there this season compared to last season with North Carolina. Shout out to Mitch Chacarino, by the way, because Colby Moultrie got hurt, and then he sort of had to take over, and there wasn't really a lot of help there. But this season, he's had a great supporting cast with Patrick McCann, Brandon Hooley, and Tommy Hassan, who will be picked probably later on. Jaden Moranto, 9.1 points per game, nearly 2 rebounds and 2 assists per game as well. Jaden, he's just been one of those guys, just when he gets that shot, he's going to take it and it's going to go in. So a nice pick for Team Demoratsky. And here come the Bloomin' Boomers again. So,
all right, I'm going to go with another 7th grade. I'm going to go Dante Moultrie. When it comes to his court vision, it's pretty good. He kind of provides that firiness a team needs, so he'll go out there and get the ball back for you. When it comes to offense, it's a little bit he could work with, but he's working almost every day, and he's getting better and better, so I'm going to go with Dante.
He's not afraid to ask the refs a question after a foul, as if you've been to the games, he questions it. But Dante Moultrie, just his speed. I actually played him one-on-one a couple of weeks ago, and I will admit, I don't really get that tired that easily, but just the way after we finished, I was exhausted. Just the way, don't laugh. Just the way he moved, just flew by everybody. 9 points per game, nearly 9 points per game, and 3 rebounds as well. And Dante is only in 7th grade, and next year probably gonna be better and bigger things to come for him.
He's been on a tear lately too. I was actually gonna go on a 2-game winning streak, and Moultrie kind of halted that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
for
I
my
think he had
Ducks
like
there,
18
so.
points or something.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll bench him in the first quarter.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, Alex, your next pick.
My next pick, I'm looking at my roster and I got a lot of talent. I mean, obviously there's, out of the 20 kids that were voted for this game, they're all very talented, but one player who I think is just kind of coming into his own as a basketball player is Tyler Cunningham. And I'm going to go with him next. He shoots the lights out. If he's open, he makes his shots, and I have a feeling he'll be open with the likes of Dylan Patterson and Trevor Book drawing double teams, and Kyle McNeil down low drawing double teams in the post. I think having Tyler out there shooting 3-pointers was going to be a nice thing for my team.
That was going to be my corner specialist next pick.
Not Richie Cunningham, but Tyler Cunningham. He's been overlooked way too much. And he's actually, when Trey Bowling, when he gets double teamed, he's always open in the corner, knocking them down like rainbows. Nearly 8 points per game this season. And Tyler Cunningham, I mean, it's too bad that he's only in 8th grade, because he could probably lead a team to a championship if he was playing next season. And that's the reason. And he's been one of the reasons why Michigan State is at the top of the leaderboard with a 7-2 record. So what a steal for Team Tamarazzi. So Derek, how are you gonna answer that one?
I am going to go with some size here, and I'm going to go Josh Brooks from Michigan. Once again, Al has Trevor, so I gotta keep the Book-Brooks association away from one another. But the thing I like about Brooks is he's a rebounding machine. I think one game he had like 18 rebounds or something like that. So hopefully we can get him out there and get him some rebounds, get him some touches down low in the post, and we'll see what he can do.
10.4 rebounds per game. That's a big key. Also having 7 points per game as well. Brooks in the rebounding with 10.4, third best in the league. And Josh Brooks, he's had a quiet season, but it's enough to give a little tremble to the rest of the big men. Sometimes, I mean, down low, the other team's big guy wasn't paying attention. Brooks just goes in there like snatching a PB&J sandwich from the fridge and gets it to go. And I mean, too bad Josh Brooks is only in 8th grade, and I'm pretty sure he wants to play another season, just the way he's been playing so far. So hopefully, and you never know, Michigan could make a big run in the playoffs if Donovan can get his act together, and hopefully, but you know what, let's just move to the next pick. What's your next pick? There's actually been a thing at school going around. People, when they do something, the teachers actually say, "Don't be a Donovan." So I don't know how that started, but what's your next pick?
Let's go with Kansas forward Nick Clouden. Love the way this kid plays ball. He stepped up so much when Kyle went down with the injury, and it kind of awakened his abilities down low. And over the past 4 weeks, he's just shown that he's all-star material, and I look forward to having the McNeil-Clouden tandem back in game-like form for the All-Star game.
I was very surprised when I found a couple weeks ago that Nick Clouden didn't make the modified team. And I was actually, normally I don't really get shocked over these cuts, but just the way he's been playing the past few weeks, you got to give him credit. Stepping up immensely, and he has improved. All these guys have improved since last year. He's probably been the one that's improved the most since being out of Michigan last year. Shout out to Joe Curry, by the way. But just the way he's been down low, and Kansas is probably the best passing team in the league, and probably the best starting 5 if you think about it, because if you're playing against Kansas, you don't know who's going to score because it's one guy to the other. And Nick Clouden, 7.1 points per game and 8.3 rebounds per game, and he's just been tearing it up the past few weeks. Is it your pick?
Yeah.
The Bloomies over there.
All right. I'm going to go with my own Sean Ferry. The thing that I like about him is he has unreal hops. So that's definitely another defensive presence. I'm a big defense guy, if you guys didn't know. But thing I like about Sean is that his jumping ability is just it's there. I couldn't dunk until my senior year of high school, and this kid is grabbing rim in 8th grade. So by next year, if not the year after, the kid should be throwing down. I like the way he plays. If we can get him down in the post, maybe that'll pick his game up a little bit more. But for right now, he's still young, so he's learning. But I'm gonna take Sean Ferry.
6 points and 6 rebounds per game. Ferry, it's ridiculous how high he can jump. And I'm surprised he hasn't been moved into a forward position for Modified, and hope maybe they'll move him there next year for JV. Just unbelievable so far for him, and this probably isn't the season he wants with Oregon, a 1-8 record. But just Sean Ferry, game in and game out, always keeping it a challenge for the other team. All right, we got team classes.
The saying goes, you can't teach size, you can't teach strength. And Nick Julian has both of that, so we're going to go with him next. I think he's someone who's kind of been overshadowed on an LSU team that has a lot of stars, and I think he fits nicely with what we want to do. So we're going to go with Nick Julian.
Yeah, King Julian, 7 points, 5 rebounds per game. And absolutely what you said, just with the amount of star power LSU has with Patterson and Kronk, he gets overlooked. And just the way he's been playing so far, great presence down low. When they need him to shoot the 3, he can shoot the 3 as well. So Nick Julian coming a big splash for LSU, and he could be one of those guys, one of the Jimmy Fredette's coming into the postseason, just surprising everybody. So hopefully Nick Julian does well in the All-Star game. Congratulations to him for making the team. All right, back over to Bloomersville.
I'm going to go Nick Casterline, the 7th grader from Michigan State. The thing about him is that he's actually grown into himself really, really well. Last year he was down with the 5th and 6th grade boys. He was a lot bigger than them. Kind of made the transition really, really well into the 7th and 8th grade. I like the way he carries himself on the court. He keeps himself in the post. He knows where he should be. He's kind of a role player. And, we'll see what he can do.
We call him the Incredible Hulk. And maybe it's the green shirt, maybe it's his height, I don't know. I just come up with these names when I'm bored. But that's not the point here. 7 points and 5 rebounds per game. And, Nick Casterline, he's been a very nice guy down low, just able to snatch the rebounds and put it back in. And by the way, Brandon Casterline, I looked in the archives, he did not score 40 points and 40 points in the first 2 games. He scored 31 and 30 last season for Florida. Shout out to Yanni Malamis. Here's the next pick.
Well, it's my last player, and again, I got to go with some outside touch, someone who could shoot the ball when other players get doubled, and that's my boy, jump shot Jack Watasic. I mean, I know you know, Joe. When I'm sitting at the table, I just talk how much he, I think he shoots the lights out. And anytime he's open, I can count on one hand how many times he's missed open shots. So we're gonna go with Jack.
Yeah, Jack. He's just been lights out for Kansas. He's been one of those guys. I mean, he's one of those guys. He's not as looked at, but I mean, you never know who's gonna get the ball for Kansas, and that's why Kansas is probably the top team. They could actually make a big run to the championship game, and it might be hard whoever they're playing in the playoffs. It's gonna be hard who they're gonna guard, because Jack Watasic could be one play getting the basket, making some nice moves, then it could be Moultrie the next. So you never know how he's gonna do. And congratulations for making the team. And he's only in 7th grade too, so hopefully we see a lot of nice jump shots next season. And Derek, you have the last pick, and
it's going to Tommy Hassan. I mean, that's not a bad pick at all. He's one of those do what you got to do to get it done players, and that's the player that I want on my team. So best of luck to Alex, and we got our lineups here.
I can't wait. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be fun. And Tommy Hassan too, cause Ohio State has so much talent. He's sort of like Jack Watasic, like Nick Clouden. They get overlooked at a little, or Tyler Cunningham, sorry. They get overlooked at a little bit. Tommy Hassan, last year he has a championship caliber, winning with Syracuse. Shout out to Partel again, by the way. And just Tommy Hassan, he's a role player. If you need him to do something, he'll do it. So that's gonna do it for us. Thursday, April 10th, be there at B Square, 7:30 here at the Rock, the Shining Stars game. You can see all these guys. You can catch the video on the NT Youth Center website, ntyouthcenter.com/basketball to get all the stats and info. And then Saturday, the Coaches versus Kids All-Star game at 2:30, followed by the first ever All-Star Skills competition. So it's gonna be fun and very cool.